And we're back again on another episode of Dropping Gems 252. So, as y'all can see, it is February. It is Black History Month.
All right. How to do.
How to the people, okay? And what I really wanted to come to you guys and talk about today is how to focus on positive things that are happening around you versus the negative. And not just like around you, just
like even if you're going through something like that's hard on you or something bad that you're dealing with, but there are always positive aspects involved, and that's what you gotta have like emphasis on and focus on to help get you through.
Yeah, because lately I've been realizing there's been a lot of things happening that's been going on, and with it being Black History Month and the way things are happening, it is our time to start speaking up and realizing how important our history is and how we are the next generation that is going to be creating legacies for our future children that are coming into this world and that are already here. So, and us speaking with you guys today and our previous videos before, we are literally creating our own Black history for our own. And because this video is going to be out there forever for those who are watching, you know?
Yeah, right.
This is not just helping us, share our experience and learn how to transmute all the things we've been through. It's also our way of helping the next generation know that, through the storms, through all the chaos, as long as you learn how to focus on the positive and versus the negative,
you get through it. And your situation, you won't become your situation. You rise above your situation. Like it won't defeat you. And also by to go into what you were saying, like by doing this also helps our lineage, like further down the line, the ones that we're not going to meet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they can still, this is out here forever. They can get to know us through this. You know
we are the next ancestors.
Right.
We are the ones that they get to look back and say, that is my mentor, that is my history that is being shown, this is my reflection of what I embody now, like, what I've created, because we're all, tapping into this energy where that creativeness starts to come, and by you releasing a lot of things and focusing on positive things in your life, and I can really honestly say, I want to share an experience by what I mean by focusing on the positive. Because during the times of me, during my my young adult age years from about, I'll say 14 to 18, I experienced a lot of abuse, mental, abuse and other things. But those things I had going on, I had a way to, even if I felt like I had no way out, I did have a way out mentally. Like I knew how to focus on what I could do, even when I think I wasn't doing something. I did something that would make me feel better during the hard times that I was going through. Instead of being the person who dwelled on the bad things, I looked forward to the good things that I could do. And I feel like life is not a straight line, and we go through good and we go through the bad all the time.
Yeah, it's always going to be trials and tribulations, and focusing on the good, like the positive things about whatever situation you're going through, helps to keep you out of a victim mindset, in my opinion. Like it helps you keep you from being the victim, and you start to take control of, like you said, you do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? You start taking control of what you can control and get through whatever it is you're getting through. And that's what will keep, in my opinion, keep pushing you forward by focusing on the positive things. Like, damn, you're on your way to work and your car cuts off. Now you could be angry, upset that your car cut off, but at the end of the day, you have a car. There's people that don't even have a car and can't get to work.
Yeah.
The positive is, hey, I have a car,
The
so I have
positive
to do a
usually
little maintenance.
outweighs the negative. And I realize the negative always shoots you to a more positive mindset later on, even if you don't take that moment and think of what is the best result out of that situation. Because obviously I've had those times
Yeah,
a
I've
lot.
had that happen to me before. Like,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I literally just don't cry over spilled milk sometimes now. It's like, damn it. Well, what it I obviously had to figure it because my issue with mine was me not checking my cars in certain areas that I need to check my oil, and I have to learn how to check these things that I get checked by stuff like that happening, but staying positive with stuff like that, like my car getting put, running out, stopping on me, and I'm thinking it's one issue, but it's literally a simpler issue by me just doing the regular steps of getting there. It's like, okay, I figured out why my car stopped. I was upset about it stopping, but it also prevented me from going somewhere further where I didn't need to be stopped. I needed to be stopped right here at this time
right.
so that anything bad could happen, even though nothing worse could happen because I focused on.
And somebody could get to you, you know what I'm saying, fairly
easily. I always find the positive in the negative. And the negative goes and comes as it goes, just like emotions. Like stuff like that makes me just go and say, thank God that I wasn't in a situation worse than this. Because I've been in, when I tell you, I feel like it's been targets on my life because I feel like maybe spiritually, I'm definitely knowing spiritually, we're in a spiritual warfare as we speak, whether people are aware of it or not. That's why it's very important. It's
right.
It's detrimental to.
You got to be aware of these things.
It's become. I would say I've learned through my life lessons through building a relationship with karma, and karma doesn't miss nobody. Karma don't need no car. Karma don't need no plane. Karma don't need nothing but the time and date, and he on site. Okay. And
yeah, karma is not playing with nobody. Karma on everybody top.
Yeah, and karma literally. Facts. I swear, if karma could split himself up into millions of versions of himself, which I see him doing, it would show up as him injecting his spirit in every rare, like every place where someone is making a decision that's going to cause him to make that's going to cause him to make some arrangements to meet what you have to meet, whether it's good karma or bad karma. So I've learned that karma is only going to go for those who deserve it. And when you look at someone going through certain things and you wonder why did that happen, karma done docked up 1,000 things that you didn't see, that you didn't know, and he gonna dock that shit and he gonna mark the day he gonna meet when you gonna meet him because he got a timeline, he got a schedule. But there's also a way to pay your karmic debt without building more and more karmic debt on you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's starting. You got to take accountability for the things you have done.
Mm-hmm. You got to really
and your part in your own story because you write your story, right? And if you don't take accountability and own up to the things that you've done, the situations you've put yourself in, then yeah, karma gonna stay on your top all the time. Like you're never paying your karmic debt because you're not taking responsibility for anything.
Yes, and I've learned that now. This is the secret to a lot of people can be surrounded by people, and they can see people every day that've done the worst of the worst, and yet they have not paid their karma. It's not about when or where. It's not about you trying to figure out when they should get their karma either. Close the door. Close the door. Thank you.
And even when
hold on.
Oh, you have to stop it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And even when even when somebody's doing you wrong, you still have to take accountability for your own part in that situation. And even if you're waiting for them to get their karma, you may not ever see them get their karma.
That part.
You know what I mean? But it's not. That's not for you.
But I promise you may not see why my third eye is just all of a sudden. He'll tell you, you sure will feel. You will know that something that you like. One thing I learned about when it comes to when you pay your own karmic debt, when you learn your own lessons and you call your energy back and you get all your power back from everything, every person, every place, everything that everyone or everything that took advantage of your energy, and you finally get all that back, and then karma is only karmic debt hasn't even gotten closer to what their debt was, because their debt is based off how much debt you gonna take on for the next person. If you want to relieve yourself, you got to release others, because the more attachments you hold on to, the more debt you that shouldn't even be paid. You shouldn't even be paying, because you shouldn't even be dealing with that. Because a lot of people surround yourself around you because they see that you're abundant or you have these things going on, and they feel like, yeah, I might have slapped Joey in the face yesterday, but don't nobody know about it. And if I hang with Susie and tell her my side of the story, and Susie just feels bad for me and not her, and then now I have an enabler, and so now my actions are, I'm feeling like my actions aren't what they are, but at the same time, you think what you're doing was right, and maybe she said something that may have triggered you, and she took accountability on that. Maybe she did her part, and she took, but you making excuses and feeling like you're justified for what your actions are doesn't mean that you won't receive karma for what you've done, because you feel like what you've done was right. Your karma will be based off your actions. You reap
Right.
what you sow,
Right.
basically.
And just to bring it back, it's like you reap what you sow. So and karma is going to be on you. But if you're focusing on someone else getting their karma, you call back your energy and you taking all their energy instead of using it to do something positive and put yourself in a better position. You're spending that energy focusing on something negative.
Right.
Instead of bringing, you know what I'm saying, instead of putting it towards something positive that's going to better your own situation.
Yeah, worried about someone else's success, worried about someone else's journey, and your journey hasn't been made because you're so focused on someone else. You haven't even got started.
Right.
You haven't even started working on the inner things that need to be worked on. Instead, you run away from yourself and constantly put yourself in situations and relationships that just only bring you back to the very person that, the very thing that you need to fix, which is yourself. And you can no longer keep projecting and blaming people and get with things or being around others to keep enabling you. Instead, you need to take that hard pill and swallow that shit and go,
stand on business.
Okay.
You gotta stand on business.
I'm like, yeah.
And that standing on business will help you get through, like being true to yourself and taking accountability for your own actions will help you get through any negative situation that you're dealing with. Why? Because once you take responsibility and accountability for those actions, then you put action to fixing the problem, coming up with a solution. And that's a positive thing. That's focusing on the positive and not being stuck on the negative. Mm-hmm. Like, because the negative will keep you stuck there. You become that. That would define you.
Because misery loves company, and the company is not is very full when you figure when you're dwelling on nothing but darkness, and you're not realizing you can easily be who you are, which is the light, and focus on the fact that, hey, I'm surrounded by this darkness, but yet I've always been this light. I've always had this light. I've always been able to shine. And I'm in the wrong place, because why am I in a place that does not allow me to shine? I need to learn how to focus on the positive things and learn what is negative and what is positive. What is the things that I need to be focused more on and less of what is around. I may be in the midst of all this, but if I focus on the fact that how dark it is in this room, I will be out of my mind. I will never be able to focus on the things that will help me get out of that room. So I'm realizing that it's all about where your focus goes. Pay attention. Is it just used lightly? because the more attention you pay, the more rewards you get. Because it goes back into self-awareness. Because you become more aware of yourself. You become more aware of things that people that aren't supposed to be there. You know, the hardest part about focusing on the positive when there's so many negative things happening is learning that rejection is protection for one,
Yeah.
and that the Most High will never put you through things that you couldn't go through. You can't get
Facts.
through. He
Like,
will never put you in a situation where you couldn't get through. And I think that's the beauty of the mystery of not knowing. The unknown is the pain is horrible to feel, but if you knew that that pain was going to come, you wouldn't have did the mission in the first place.
right.
But you also knew that your pain was going to be was not going to be taken for granted. You're going to realize the reward that comes behind the tears that you had to shed, because those tears were there to help water your next generation, your seeds to come.
Yeah, and you gotta put in, you gotta do the work. And like that's another part about being positive in a bad situation, because you can take faith in the fact, you can stand on the fact, if you're doing the work, that is, your hard work is gonna pay off.
Yeah.
You can take faith in that. You know what I'm saying? You can stand on that because
Yeah.
hard work pays off. It's
That's
a fact.
true. Because you can't, you know, you're 100% not going to get there if you 100% do nothing.
Yeah, if you don't do anything, you're never gonna make it.
You know that's a guaranteed. Now, that's a guaranteed fail if you don't do anything. And you'll learn that people want you to fail. You know, the world wants you to fail, because the longer you stay plugged into the system, the longer you stay plugged into anyone's system. Because if we were all a computer system within our own, creating our own, you know, game and stuff, and we realize that the more we plug ourselves into the reality of others, the more their reality can leak into yours, and you'll start doing, and things will start coming on, and you know, into yours. Like, I always go back to that show, Wanda's Vision. She's looked at as a villain, and then I look at the movie Agatha all along, and it's so crazy how both of them have their own origin story. And I think about WandaVision is about, she just took over based off her emotions. She, you know, from her point of view, I didn't see it from that before until I saw Agatha all along, because it's like Agatha was deemed as an evil, you know, because she was able to take everyone's power. Like, she just was so powerful that she was just that. And it's like, but yet she was put under a spell. Like, if you were a witch, or I wouldn't say a witch, if you were that powerful, because she was the witch, you know, but if you were that powerful and you needed other people to you thought you needed other people's power to power you, but in reality, if you were to just, you know, use the power that you had versus stealing everyone else's power, you would have been, you know. But it's like, I don't even know, because the show was, she was doing it for her reasons, but she knew what she was doing when she realized that her stealing people's power was never the right way, even if she had the capability of doing it. Like, the negative thing, the negative, like, I'm getting off track because I was thinking of it. I was, but the negative side of it was she abused her power. She took, she befriended people. She plotted on them. She manipulated them. She got them all in a group. And I wanted to say, from me getting to the point with that, is Agatha all along. Everybody has an Agatha all along in their group. There's always one person that has been hiding behind the scenes, of hiding behind the shadows of everyone else around them, so that one person didn't have to be seen as the bad guy. But the moment you see the bad guy is seen, then you're out of here, because
right,
you know, she was the culprit the whole time. And when you find yourself in a situation where you're a Wanda, where your power, the power of emotions can create your reality. Imagine what reality could be created out of positive actions and positive emotions. And
Right.
she had a reality where she did have those choices. And she tried to take it from herself. So it's like,
Yeah, she wilded out.
she
Like,
did.
she
But
was in it.
that's the power
But
of two people who with great power comes great responsibility.
yeah, and like for the most part, she she was just doing what she wanted without
No consequences.
without the consequences,
Yeah.
without taking like
She didn't care for the lives of others. She really just moved based off her feelings.
yeah, and took like created chaos.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
chaos
saying?
magic. And see,
And took
that's
over a whole town, had people under her spell, doing whatever she wanted because she felt
entitled, or
yeah, she felt the world wronged her or
yeah,
took something from her. And but the accountability was no, you guys were avengers. Y'all made enemies. Y'all was out there doing things, you know.
you were part of a group.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
you were
made choices
involved
to,
in a situation where you inserted yourself in, whether you knew it or not, whether you wanted to or not.
and consequences can be either good or bad. It's just consequences.
Now,
Like
let me take that back for her saying she chose it. She may not have chose what happened to her because she didn't heal that side of her. Because when she was locked in that facility and they were, torturing her, because that's what that's those
yeah, I was saying she chose to be a hero.
that part, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's consequences with that. Even though she
Yes,
was doing something good,
yes, that's
it
true.
still comes with consequences. And consequences could be good or bad.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. No matter what you do, like
it's gonna affect something. Or
yeah, it's
someone.
going to affect something. Something's going to happen. So because of the lifestyle, after because of the lifestyle they chose, that's what got Vision killed.
Yeah.
Now, what she did after that, like far as taking over the town and all that, creating Vision, yeah, she wowed out. But I understand she never was healed from her childhood torment.
And that to the point where she did that out of her she didn't know she was aware until and then when she realized the power she had, she didn't want to let go of and start all over. She didn't want to let go of the dream that she thought she had, but the whole time it was a dream to begin with. That's the mindset of she had in her head. It goes back to the mind and the mental breakdown of what happens when you don't let go and let God, or you don't go within and you don't heal. Because if you don't heal one thing, you got another wound to heal, and then that becomes worse, and then here comes chaos, and then you're creating things, controlling, manipulating, putting people in your own situations. And overall, that's the reason why narcissistic people are born, because there's so much being held on to. And it's like I'm starting to realize that it's it's a pandemic of creating out of control and manipulation, therefore creating the seed out of that is the reason why so many unhealed people walking around, because of the fact that no one told them or showed them, and now they're creating chaos magic everywhere.
And then you got those. That's just to be fair. You still have those people that love their misery.
They thrive off of that.
They thrive on their own misery, in that low vibrational state. Like I've had people, I've talked to people that tell me their toxic traits or their red flags, and are well aware of it, but they choose not to be better.
I definitely have felt ran, and I had to learn the hard way, because I learned that a lot of people I was friends with, they had a lot of toxic traits about them, and I had my own as well, but I was unaware of it until I became aware. But to be aware of it and still not change it is another story. It's a choice at that point, because yes, we're operating a lot of our times. We're operating out of an unhealed wound or a place of minds, a place where we're not aware of certain things that we're not seeing about ourselves until the predicament comes up where you're reflected, your wounds are reflected back to you, where you need to see where it is that you lack and where you need to heal. And that's where it becomes harder to focus on the negative things that you had to find out about yourself, but it also gets better when you focus on the positive things because aren't you happy you found out now and not later, and
And
not.
that's how you turn a negative into a positive.
Mm-hmm.
Is okay. This triggers me. So ask the question, why does this trigger me? Well, such and such and such happened, and I never dealt with it.
Mm. I never cried about it.
Yeah, never. However you deal with it,
Yeah.
I never dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so deal with it and let that go. So now that type of situation or something no longer triggers you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a trigger for you anymore because you dealt with the trauma, you addressed
Yes.
it, and you let it go.
Yeah.
So now you can focus on you know how to deal with it when it comes back around. You can focus on the positive. Well, I learned from that. This type of situation forced me to deal with something I wasn't dealing with, and I grew. I've grown from that.
Mm-hmm.
So now when it comes back around, because it's going to come back around,
Yep.
you know how to deal with it, and you can keep it moving, and you can stay in a positive and a higher vibe. Like, cause I've met people that they can't wait till something bad happens to them, cause that's their favorite thing to talk about.
Oh my God.
They don't want to talk about anything positive. They don't want to try to build. They don't want to try to create. They just let me tell you what I'm going through. Something, 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 something. And my baby daddy this.
Boy, I can't. I can't. I
This
don't.
girl that.
I
This
used.
that. What? Listen.
Are you? What you doing to solve it? Like I understand being that place where that person to go to, and I'm that person, but I'm not the go-to person to go to when you ain't working on a plan to get to. Cause
all right, because I'm gonna ask you like, well, why you still dealing with her? Why you still going over there?
Why are you allowing them to disrespect you?
Why you let them in your house? Why you know what I mean? Like,
or I would say things like I would definitely do the why thing because I'm asked why to see your response because then I'm going to go off and say, well, I'm only going to tell you from my own experience because I can only share with you from my own because the lack of boundaries is what gets you caught up in a lot of situations and you can put boundaries but learning how to stand on business is another thing and I've been tested multiple times and I ain't gonna lie I didn't stand on business because I was manipulated but I didn't know what manipulation was until I had to find out what kind of manipulation it is and my way of learning is I was raised by a lot of manipulators. I had manipulative family members all the time, all around me. And when I actually started, like I may not catch on the first time, but best believe I'm going to recognize because I'm really good with pattern recognition. And I had to learn how to, go off actions and not words as well. So, accountability and and seeing what it is that because once you see the positive you go down that self-evaluation you see where these things start you see why it is that happened
right.
Why you attracted that why this and all the whys start becoming ohs and ahs and okays and I forgive myself. I didn't know. And then you go down this list of going into affirmations because you let go of the negative side of the I ain't, I can't, I won't, I ain't, then it becomes I am. I speak. I forgive. So all these things happen when you start focusing on the good.
Right. And the positive always outweighs the bad if you pay attention. And that be the problem. A lot of people don't pay attention. I'm guilty of it. For a time, I was something bad would happen, it would be like that's the end of the world for me. You know what I'm saying? But then I started wising up. Why? Because I went to sleep and woke up the next day. Okay. Like, damn, the world was still spinning. Like, oh man, like I lost this, I lost that, but
the world was still spinning, I'm still
Mm-hmm.
breathing, I can go get all of that again.
I got
Oh,
another
okay.
chance.
I got another chance. I can still make moves. I ain't defeated. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
only defeated when you stop trying.
Yeah.
When you give up, when you give in to the negative or whatever the bad situation
Yeah, cause
is.
yeah, cause you don't even know. It's not always just you. It could be you could be literally in a ring with a bunch of people, preying on you. When I mean preying by PREY, and you're not aware of it. And the only way it affects you is if you let it.
Right.
You have to say, no, that ain't gonna let me. Like, I literally know why I failed because you literally threw that rock and hit your hand and made me trip, and I thought it was my fault for not seeing, but really it was you throwing a rock and hiding your hand. So that takes on a lot of things like that happen, and you're thinking a lot of things are happening because of you, but really it's a lot of things being plotted and traps laid for you to fail all the time.
Most definitely.
That's
Most
what
definitely.
that's why he said it pays to pay attention.
Yeah.
Because when you pay attention, you get paid more than you realize. You get paid with your life. You get paid with knowledge. You get paid with intuition. You get paid with your discernment. Like you,
like just like you said, paying attention will save you so much trouble because then it'll help you. And here's the accountability part. Like from the person that's throwing rocks and hiding their hand, if when you're paying attention, now you might see this sudden movement. Now like, okay, let me get you out of my circle. I don't need you around me because the moment I take my eye off you, you throw a
throw the
rock
rock.
and hide your hand. Like
And that's where you move in silence too, because
yeah,
you
you
don't
got
gotta
on
let
my
them know.
downfall.
Yeah.
Type
Because if,
shit.
if I were to tell you that I see you throw the rock, you just not gonna throw a rock, then you're gonna find another way to throw it at me.
Right.
You're gonna shoot an arrow next time. You're gonna find a way to get me. But if I learn how to find out what fuck around to find out, once I learn that that's what it is, it's like, okay, hey, I paid attention to me more so than what everybody else wanted me to pay attention. More in tune and the more aware, self-aware of me and my surroundings and the patterns that I know I do to like within me and those that are around me and the patterns that they do. I'm gonna pick up on that energy where I'm like, okay, that rock didn't come out of nowhere. That rock literally was not there until I literally turned my head and turned back, and now it's there.
Yeah,
and then I look back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. And now, then you want to gaslight and make it seem.
Let you. Now you've given me all the evidence that you're not for me. Now if I let you remain around me, then it's on my fault. Then it's on me.
And if I let you around me, and if I have to have you around me, and I don't, set boundaries, then it's on me.
Right.
Because at the same, because at the same time, it's like I can't move with you like I moved with you before. I knew what I knew now. Because that's why self forgiveness is a major thing. Because you beat yourself up. Because I used to beat myself up a lot for the things I did, felt about myself that I would, tell myself. But in reality, I was being plotted on, and traps were laid for me to fail, and it'd be the people you would never expect it to be. But the longer you the act. Like I'm home. I mean, I'm appreciating the fact that I could be in my own space right now. Like I'm kids are like, they have to go to school, they have to do that, but the moment they get the chance to let that shit go, they let that shit go. They don't want to do the homework. They don't want to do that shit. We are put in a system where position where we have to do shit every day. Like stopping and smelling the roses isn't always something that we realize we ain't doing. Like we think we do it, we think we present when we not. Cause
it makes me appreciate everything more and be more grateful for what I do have and what I am doing, and the fact that I'm able, even if I'm not where or doing something that I would like to be doing right then, like, damn, I got to do this, that, and the third so I can get to do this.
right,
But I still, when I take a moment and smell the flowers, so to speak, it makes me, well, damn, I am up, able bodied, and I'm working towards that. I'm able to work towards that. So I'm grateful for that. Because what
right,
if I couldn't? You know what I'm saying? Even work towards this goal I set for myself.
right.
Like, yeah, it makes me more appreciative. It keeps me focused. It keeps me in a positive mindset. Like, I'm able to
It keeps me
do what I need to do to try to reach these goals.
And I tell you what, the closer I get to knowing myself, the closer I get to my roots, the closer I get to my ancestors, the closer I get to my purpose, the closer I get to who to me, the closer I get to being around those who are for me and not against me. And even if I am around those who are against me, I'm more so around. I have more people that are for me than against me now because I'm in the transitional point in my life where I've been around a lot of people who are against me, and I have been in a plot that in a flower pot that needs to be replanted. And I have outgrown this plant, this pot, and now it's time for me to move because everyone benefited off of my roots being grounded in this pot, and no one gave me the water to keep my roots watered. So knowing who and how valuable my roots are and who I am, I have to reply and replant myself into a better environment to help me thrive and become stronger. And the plants around you are only being there to keep and take away from you, keep you at a little ass plant that
you're surrounded by weeds. If you let them, they'll choke you out.
That's like clean that garden out.
Right, so. For real. You can't, like, that's why I don't like to be around people who just, you ever be talking to somebody and it don't matter what you're talking about. It's never anything like productive or uplifting.
It's like watching real life housewives.
It's like, yeah, why every time I talk to you, I feel down afterwards? Like,
oh my God. Or why every time I talk to you, I get like slightly agitated? Because one thing I learned about that, I just watched a video earlier about the Matrix and about the NPCs and how the system is really built on people keeping us in the system. And I realized how powerful we were by realizing, one, the black people, we are the history, we are the power, we make the money, we are the money, we are the bag. We are the bag. We literally are the golden ticket. And that's the thing that they don't want us to see. And then the fact that they're trying to take away our history, try to take away our knowledge to share with these kids, not knowing we are the next ones that are up and running, stepping up, making the history known for these kids and these upcoming generations and the ones after that, the ones who we won't get to meet. We'll still be here showing y'all. You'll still be able to look back on these videos and see how much people were getting involved in trying to change the world and trying to change people's mindset to help them elevate in life by only sharing their own experience. Because everything I'm speaking of, I'm only speaking not of facts, but of experience.
Facts.
And I say facts because it's factual to me because I only speak because it is giving results of whatever I've done.
Right. I was telling a coworker of mine earlier today because he asked me some tips about saving money. Mm-hmm. And that turned into a whole another conversation. But it was more so I was telling him, I was like, it turned into something about keeping an open mind about things. Mm-hmm. I was like, I was telling him I'm only speaking from my own experiences. I had to learn the hard way from messing up money and, being tight, not being able to pay a bill or something because I done messed my money up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like mismanaging my money. I went through all of that because nobody taught me finances. I had to learn that the hard way. Once I kind of got a handle on it,
You'll
you
learn
know,
how to keep what you let slip. Like you only know until you know. You
and I was,
don't know until you know.
and he went along to say something like, I just felt like I could ask you, and I was like, he's like, cause some people you ask them things they won't tell you anything.
Gatekeeping.
I was like, listen, if I can tell you anything based on my own experience that will help you, I'm going to do it. I'm going to share it with you because knowledge to me in my mind, knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. So if I have all the knowledge and I'm not applying it, it's a waste. You know what I'm saying? It's a complete
useless
waste.
talent.
It's useless. So I can apply the knowledge and then take that. If you ask me about it, I'm gonna share that knowledge with you so you can apply the knowledge as well.
Yeah, it's just like me. I realized I was like, oh, I could draw, but if I didn't apply my finger to the pen, to the paper, to the lines, to see what it is that I could do, I would have never seen how good I was. And I didn't know to this day. I realized I was being prepped by my own son because he was forcing me to draw for him. And not only was he helping me see my inner child, he was letting me see how talented I was. And me seeing my own talent meant me see how good he was and what he could do without realizing he may lack in other places, but yet he was able to thrive more so in what he can do. And that's the positive part about being, because my son, he has autism and he definitely may not speak, but he can show you better than he can tell you. And I feel like
Facts.
actions speak louder than words. So I'm learning from the nonverbal son of mine, and I'm also even learning from my own cat, like how to communicate and actually how to receive what I need to receive without trying to go. Like if I just realize that focusing on things and realizing the positive things that are happening. Like I was telling him earlier about how it took so long for me to see how far I came and within the time I had my son, and how it was like how difficult it was seeing the things that I felt like he lacked in. Like, oh, he when is this gonna happen? When is that gonna happen? And as he grew older, he was showing me more than he could tell me. He was like,
and that's the thing, all it really takes is, and like you were saying earlier when you was talking about it, it's like what I gathered, you had a mindset switch.
mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, well, he's doing this, he's capable of this, he's doing this, he's doing that. Those are the positives.
That perspective, you know
yeah. Those are all the positives. Let's focus on the positives, and he keeps growing.
Yep, and I keep encouraging him to know that regardless if this isn't, you have this and that and this and that. And it's like I think about and me as a child, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I lacked in a lot of things, but I didn't have that mentor to help me keep my confidence. But it wasn't necessarily needed because it was in me. Like confidence was in me, but my life was constantly trying to be blown out.
And as a child, I was rebellious and prideful with an ego. So you couldn't. I didn't pay attention to what I lacked in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that you're a child, so
yeah. I'm just saying, like I never paid attention to the things that you know what I'm saying, I was lacking, but I never, you know what I'm saying, I didn't pay attention to my own character flaws.
You either.
Yeah, nobody was teaching me, but I didn't pay attention to my own character flaws until I got older and I realized, like
that
damn.
When you say character flaws, I think of immediately went to like the Sims game and how when you're creating a sim, you have all these characteristics, and I'm pretty sure the person we just created did not want to be lazy as fuck and dirty, but because
I started looking at myself like,
right,
oh shit,
you were like, damn.
Like, damn, this is fucking terrible.
Why am I this way?
Why am I doing this? Yeah, like
let me switch this up.
Yeah, let me change this shit. Let me
go back into the settings.
Yeah, like damn, I can be better here. I can be better there.
Yeah.
Why?
I can use this there. I might not do that, but I can do that.
Yeah, and that opened me up to. That gave me more. Once I started looking at myself and being more aware of my own shit, it gave me more of an open mind to the rest of the world. And then I was able to receive information from anywhere. If it resonated and then I can apply it to my life and it would make my life better, I do that.
That's one thing that's the key right there. Why get involved with anything that does not make your life better? Why be with anyone or be in or be around anything or anyone that does not make your life better?
Right. If you don't uplift me or make me want to be better or help me be better in any aspect, if you're not benefiting or adding to what I got going on, I don't need you around me.
Right.
Because if you're not adding, you're taking.
Yeah, and I only give to givers. I don't give
Right.
to takers because takers take and give to others and then only give to those to take again. So those are
Fact.
repeated patterns. And that's the reason why we came up here today to talk about being focusing on the positive and not the negative. Learn how to use your discernment, learn how to tap within and realize changing your perspective is a key to gaining all these benefits of, you know, being divinely aligned into your purpose, like who you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to be walking, and how you are supposed to be going about is,
Right.
Focusing on the positive, being
Yeah.
in the now, staying present, appreciating.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, like, a positive mindset make you more appreciative of the things you have, the things you have going on. You start you be more, what's the word? You have more gratitude. You be way more grateful because, and when you're operating out of a grateful energy, you get more things come to you.
Yep, more showers of gratitude
because you appreciate what you already do have and you're grateful for what you already do have. So
you make whatever you make your magic. You use your magic. It's like,
so more things are going to open up for you because you're going to appreciate it. God, the universe, nature knows you're going to appreciate it.
It's just like how Cinderella, her godmother, turned a pumpkin into a carriage. She used her magnet. She said, how am I going to get where I need to get? I'm going to take this pumpkin and I'm going to turn it into a carriage. Whether it was real or not, take the metaphor and take the analogy of how you took nothing and made it into something.
Yeah,
be the black girl magic, black boy magic that you have for Black History Month. Tap into your power. And this is not just for, our brown folks. We just speaking on our people at the moment because of our history. But at the same time, everyone needs to tap in. They need to realize that tapping in and learning to face the reality, be present, be now, and focus on the positive. I broke a glass today, but I was like, dang, at least I didn't cut my foot.
Yeah.
It's like, or this happened, but like I said in the previous before we ended out, I did say in the video where this lady was walking, and I told you about that time she was walking, she got bit by a dog, and she was more appreciative that a child didn't get bit instead. So she was glad that the dog bit her, and they got the dog instead of it being the worst case scenario about a kid getting,
and that's beautiful. That's wonderful.
She was like, I want to be an inspiration to the younger generation and show them that I'm literally here. Could have been my leg, everything could have been messed up, but by her being positive and looking at it from a new perspective, she was able to keep her leg. She was able to be saved. She was able to be helped at the right time by being that.
And the fact that she's older, she could probably handle it a lot.
Yeah, because
a lot better than a child would.
Trauma. We don't need that trauma put on the child. They don't understand. They like, why did this happen?
Right.
But this is why it's so important to learn how to change your perspective, change your mindset, change the thought process, the train of thought that you have on a daily basis,
right? And
not allow intrusive negative energies and thoughts to keep you feeling like you can't do what it is that you put in your mind.
And know that no matter what it is that you're going through, it could always be worse.
Yeah.
So,
with that being said, y'all,
keep it positive, and as always, she gonna keep it spiritual. I'm gonna keep it lyrical. Be cool how you be cool. Be you and be true.
And we'll catch you guys on the next episode of Dropping Gems 252. Happy Black History Month. Power to the people.
Yeah.